to send 3 kids who are kind of around the same age to school. Like most families of color, my parents sacrificed so that they can send us to good public universities, because again, that is what they could afford. I admit that I took this opportunity for granted. I was not a good student. I cut classes, I took a lot of incompletes. I think I was in a rebellious stage. I did a lot of all-nighters. I think I flunked a few classes. But there was a silver lining here. I learned a lot about campus organizing. And that's where I first met the Freedom Socialist Party, and also my Bay Area comrades, many who we're still comrades today, so that was well worth it. The other benefit would be as well, I didn't like school, I did love the organizing, which is probably why I've spent my entire adult working life working on a campus, a college campus. I am a public employee who has an affordable medical plan, a pension, decent wages, and a union. Yeah, seriously, no. As a public service, the majority of us in public employment are people of color, women, and queers. We have the power to shut down the vital functions of the university, to bring the ivory towers to a standstill. And whenever the FSP has engaged in a battle on campus, we have always tried to build a united front that included students, staff, faculty, and the community, because it is this inclusive force that can pressure campus administrators and government officials to agree to whatever we're demanding. As you've heard a little bit and have read about in the Freedom Socialist newspaper, the struggle at City College of San Francisco, CCSF is what we also call it. CCSF is a model for community colleges everywhere. It ranks in the top categories for preparing students to transfer and to succeed at 4-year colleges. Part-time instructors, represented by the AFT, have wage and benefit packages that other lecturers marvel at. 85,000 students can take classes in their own neighborhoods because of multiple campuses of the City College. In 2012, 72% of voters passed a bond measure, like to increase their own property taxes so that they could pay for City College classes and services. That's like totally unheard of. People, because they love City College, they understand how important it is. City College offers educational opportunities for all San Franciscans, especially the poor, the working class, and immigrant communities. However, in spite of this impressive record of accessible quality education, the Accreditation Agency for California, the acronym is the ACCJC, thank you, is basically saying, oh, your college shouldn't exist. You are under sanction. You have to show cause why you should continue to have your accreditation, which is totally ridiculous. In spite of its political hostility to City College, the accreditation agency is only enforcing the standards that the democratically controlled California legislature passed a few years ago. So some groups will say, oh, the accreditation agency is a problem, we just got to fix them. But no, we're saying it's a bigger problem because this is, as Steve has talked about, it's a policy. This is what they're trying to do to public education, is to wreck it, like the title of this panel is. So in California, it's called the Student Success Initiative, which basically wants to say, you have to get through school really quickly. We want you to be full-time. You cannot repeat classes. And we're going to start cutting a lot of the programs like arts, ethnic studies, women's studies, queer studies, labor studies. We're going to move away from the lifelong learning mission statement. So anyways, the other thing is there's this drive to push students and to train students to work in the IT industry, into jobs where they can run the technology to spy on people. It's not surprising that the new chancellor of City College formerly used to work for the NSA. The new president of the University of California system is Janet Napolitano, who is Homeland Security. again, these aren't people, you know, they're chosen for a reason. But I think you just look and see who's in charge, and you get a sense of where we're going or where they want us to go. Thing is, SEIU is also part of the Lumina Foundation, which is a private foundation writing the legislation to privatize community colleges and then turn them into the narrow pipelines to limited jobs to force students who want a broader education into private schools and massive student debt. So again, there's real objective reasons, as Ducey was talking about the students, as to why, you know, we weren't able to build a united front. The students of color also, Beatrice talked about the role of nonprofits. We have one at City College. It's actually not just at City College, but it's Coleman Advocates for Children. And they've been a major player in San Francisco politics for decades. And they are politically aligned with SEIU. They have the money to hire students and pay them, right, and give them a job to go out and basically say, let's work with the administration. Oh yes, we have to fix things. And students, they don't really educate them, because we've been to board meetings where we've talked, and these same students have come up and said, we really like what you had to say. Anyway, what's despicable about what they do is they use students of color to basically carry out the message of the administration. In the end, the middle casters and the liberals turn the fight over to the politicians and the courts. They just basically destroyed the Save CCSF coalition by disbanding the coordinating committee and replacing it, not replacing it with any sort of leadership body. So right now, the coalition basically kind of exists online, and other people use the name of the coalition to kind of promote what they're doing, but there is absolutely no democracy there. I do want to talk about, you know, in the 2 years that we've been working on the CCSF campaign, we have managed to shift the focus to privatization, to expose the accreditation agency, to turn the narrative around from CCS being a basket case to an institution really important to fight for. We help bring our analysis to the Latino, Black, and Chinese communities by insisting that the coalition meet at these campuses in the various neighborhoods. We've broadened the focus to the Obama administration, the State Chancellor of California Community Colleges, as well as the accrediting agency and the Board of Trustees. Through our efforts, the city attorney has jumped on board, because we've created a nice safe platform for him to basically sue the ACCJC and say it would do horrible damage if the school closed. We also have gotten, not that we were specifically calling for these things, but Congresswoman Pelosi has gotten the Department of Education to tell the ACCJC you have more time in which to, CCSF should have more time to fix the quote-unquote problems. We've built a broad base of support among many interested in the fight to save City College. We are also very proud socialists who, in a coalition which held many other left groups, and we were the ones who always announced ourselves as being with Freedom Socialist Party or Radical Women. And our analysis, too, especially in the early going, really set the tone and was valuable in setting the demands for the struggle. The fight for public education continues, and we look forward to this next period of providing the needed leadership to this struggle. Thank you.